My choir director at church asked me if I would do Elvis for a widow's banquet, and I said no, I will not. And my wife, Vicky, went behind my back later on and said yes, he will do it. And so we rented a horrific costume, a lot worse than this at the time. So rented a bad costume. I did 6 songs for the show, and we got it on tape. It was horrible, and that's how it all began.
You just get so inspired, by him and wanting to do great things, like he did and everything. And being a songwriter and a singer myself, I said, why not give it a try also, So that's why I perform the songs, help the people, keep the memory alive, and pretty much, in a respectful manner, everything, have them have a good time. I love performing Elvis songs.
When I was 6 years old, I started singing in church.
Well, I was always a singer, and I was working with a lot of different bands and things like that, who refused to play Elvis every time I tried to get them to do that. And eventually I built up enough confidence to go out on my own, and I sort of had cheap backing tracks and a cheap little boom box, and I used to go around and do my thing, and gradually it got a little bit more popular, and I made a little bit of money that I could sort of join with a band, and now I get hired to do gigs that use a 12-piece band, so it's really gone beyond what I imagined.
Well, I got to practicing, and the more I practiced, people would say that you remind me of Elvis and stuff, and then I just took it from there. And then learning Elvis is you got to learn your different techniques and stuff. My voice, I was just gifted with a voice, so I used my voice. Some people got a good look, some people got the voice, some people are lucky enough to have them all, but my voice was the thing I worked on the most.
I don't really know. It just was in my heart to always do that. I always wanted to be a singer ever since I was a little boy. So it just kind of happened. I don't really know how it happened, but it just did. So as we were a teenager, we got started singing, and we've been doing it ever since.
My mama had a CD, and I'd listen to it, and I just, I'd sing along with it, my own voice, and then started mimicking him, and I'd got a lot of stuff, got a lot of crap. I'd comb my hair up like Elvis, a big pompadour, but then it just turned into my own show, and it was a lot of fun.
Again, I've always, from a young age, sung along to the Elvis songs. As everybody here tonight has been singing along to the Elvis songs, so when you perform, you can see them. And I think ultimately it was a natural progression. Over the last 10 years, I suppose karaoke's become quite popular, and when you sing along, people have said, I'd look at that. And it really started for me as a tribute artist when we went to a local community centre to watch an Elvis tribute. The Elvis tribute didn't turn up, there was a band there, and I sang a couple of songs with them, and they said, well, we'll go out and do a show. And because I knew the songs, like everybody here tonight knows the songs, that wasn't a problem. And thankfully it went down very well, and I decided from then with my family, why not have a go at it? It's something I love, the man's music I love, and what better way to appreciate that than in a tribute yourself to the King of Rock.
Playing music on stage came naturally for me just because my family grew up in church, playing music. As a young kid, I got a guitar. I heard music in my household all my life, so from transferring it to music was just a natural step for me. I love music. I love music. I love people. So it seemed like it was this thing that made sense for me was to combine music and people. So now I can sing to people.
I got into Elvis when I was 12 years old, and my dad got me the documentary that's going to premiere at the Orium Theater called Elvis on Tour. And I watched it, and I was like, wow, this guy's really good. And then as I got to watching more and more, I was like, well, let's go for it. And people was always telling me, hey, you look like him, why don't you try to do a tribute? And I'm like, well, all right. And so here I am. I've been at it for 3 years now. This is year 4 for me, so it's really a blast.
When I started singing, it was not singing, I makes a playback show. I was 15 or 16 years old or something, and then I do some different contests, playback contests, and I win almost all of them. And one night I win a contest, and the guy heard me singing on my playback, and after I win, he said to me, okay, you're gonna sing again, but this time I'm gonna turn on your microphone. And everything started like this, and it was a guy in the crowd and asked me if I can come to his show and make 2-3 songs. And over there I meet another one who asking me to come and singing again, and so it started like that, and then I find the first karaoke music, and I started singing live completely, and and it was for me a good way to give back to Elvis everything he gave it to me, because for many people Elvis saved my life, and so I try to give him back like that, to be on stage and singing his song.